So, while I don't normally start the videos off by smiling, do I? But I've just lost 15 minutes of my 45 minutes recording time this morning, just sat playing a Coast ukulele. I was like, oh, I'll just play it and get a feel for it before I talk about it. And I just got lost, just playing really light, delicate melodies on this instrument. And that's Coast for you. There's something magic. There's something a little bit magic about the Coast ukuleles. Kavai, the builder at Coast, an exceptional human being, just a lovely person to speak to and interact with. If you follow Coast on Instagram or on Facebook or social medias, all of the sort of talk to cameras that Kavai does about the instruments they make, like I'm doing right now, they just make you smile. Just a person with a kind of natural, pure heart and good sensibilities, building instruments with their children. There's nothing not to like. I went and visited Kavai in Petaluma, California a couple of years ago, and just maybe 6 months ago, Kavai sent me a ukulele where me and my children had been inlaid up the fingerboard on our Vespers. That's the kind of person Kavai is. So let's talk about the two Coast ukuleles that we've received here in mid-2025 at Southern Ukulele Store. I've done them in reverse number order, so this is number 86. Let's get a good look at this ukulele. At first glance, this ukulele almost feels a tiny bit understated. There's a lovely top, there's a lovely back to this ukulele. There's definitely a story with these dots going up to this beautiful koa and maple turtle inlay. It's gorgeous, and actually the more you look at it, the more gorgeous it gets. There's a lovely quilted maple neck here. I think you call it bird's eye maple, off the top of my head. Going down to a lovely piece of quilted maple for the back and sides. Maple has a very good tonal response. It's not dissimilar to koa or mango. It has a softness to it. It absorbs a lot of the nasally and overly bright frequencies of a ukulele, and it's like filtered coffee for the ears. You know, you get a sweeter natural release to a maple instrument than you would with some of the more guitar-like combinations out there. The top on this ukulele is a torrefied spruce. So for those that want to know more about torrefication is a process where wood is kiln baked, thermally cured. I can't say that very well. Thermally cured to artificially age the molecules inside. There's lots and lots of very good videos from the likes of Martin and Taylor Guitars about this process, and it's just a fascinating thing where basically they take the same process they use on outdoor furniture to age an instrument. And they were, when this process was being trialled out for the first time, I remember watching a video where a 1930s guitar was compared to the molecular structure of a normal sort of modern instrument made by the same manufacturer. And the molecular structure was exactly the same, the tonal response was exactly the same. So this process definitely works. A big fan of torrefied woods. You have a simple walnut rosette here on this ukulele, and the accents on this are all walnut as well. There's a side sound port. There's the walnut back there with the Goto planetary tuners. Let's have another look at that. That beautiful turtle inlay on the front, the Honu. You have a 0 fret on Coast ukuleles, which helps intonation, makes it more accurate. So obviously with a nut, there is a level of where the string touches the nut is where the intonation ends or begins, depending on how you look at it. But if you were to use a 0 fret, you take the nut out of that equation at all, it becomes a different part of the process. So 0 fret, something not many people use, but sought after. As is a radiused fingerboard. The fingerboard on this ukulele, if you look at the bridge saddle here, curves up, and the neck has a 12-inch radius to it too. And I think most importantly, which I forgot to mention before this point, this particular ukulele, number 86, has an 18-inch scale length. So the distance from here to here is an inch different to a normal tenor ukulele. How does that affect the sound? Well, it makes the instrument a bit tighter. I find that if you increase the scale length just slightly but keep a normal gauge string, what you get is a more bouncy response to the instrument, more sustain and more attack when you play. The shorter you make that that scale length, the more kind of pokey everything gets, which isn't a bad thing, but a slightly elongated scale makes this instrument just suitable for DGBE tuning if you use the right strings, but a really good bluesy and soulful instrument, or something expressive for those that like to play melodies on their uke instead. Let's give number 86 a play and see what you think. I think it's about time for the main event. This is the ukulele you would have clicked on this video for. This is number 85, a classic Coast live edge tenor. Kawai has been building live edge ukuleles from the start, really. The instruments that drew me to Coast were some examples of live edge instruments that they were making. Not many companies are doing this regularly. Tide Music is another US based luthier producing this kind of thing, and I really enjoy seeing Kawai and Coast interact with all of these other builders like Cornerstone and Tide Music on Instagram and talk about the finishes they're using and how they're achieving what they do. I like this idea and this feeling that builders are working together to achieve more consistent results. Let's talk more in depth about the body of this ukulele before we talk about the fancy inlays. This is a high grade Hawaiian koa with an obvious live edge. This piece of wood would not have been suitable for a traditional ukulele. Instead, Kawai has engineered around that live edge to produce an acoustic ukulele. The koa on this all the way around, really highly figured. In fact, I don't know if this light does it justice. I'm going to shoot some B-roll under different lights so you can see it. And you've got there a lovely koa seam as well. Just a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful piece of koa. And then, if the live edge wasn't enough, as you move up the fingerboard, you can see a very intricate Tree of Life motif. Is that a motif? Tree of Life design. All the way up to the headstock. In fact, let's take another close look at that now. Just a beautiful, beautiful design that goes all the way down to the body. It reminds me of the Faraway Tree, which my youngest son is currently reading. There's something about the Faraway Tree and its roots You've got gold Goto tuners here, and the back is a lovely piece of figured wood as well. This is a conventional 17-inch tenor. Still has the 12.5-inch radius to it, so you've got the curve there, and the fingerboard itself curves around. Some people prefer a radius fingerboard because of how it helps you play bar chords. I can't say that I find it impacts my playing personally, and I've seen lots of people that were desperate to try one, that when they tried one couldn't even tell that it was there. It's not something that's essential to the majority of players, but there's definitely a portion of players out there that swear by it. You have a zero coaty fingerboard underneath all of those lovely pieces of wood there, and a zero coaty bridge, bone nut and saddle. The accents on this ukulele are koa as well, so you've got koa front and back binding with small strips of ABS to kind of tie it all in together. And the butt of this ukulele, I believe that this is a different wood to koa, but I'm not sure what it is. I will ask Kavai though. You also have the side port here, so you can just, yeah, you can just do that if you want to. And I will say one last feature about coasts I like, having played one now for a few months of my own, is how shallow the heel is, and how it curves up, so like it's flat and then just has a complete right angle curve up. So access to the higher part of the neck on this is so much easier than on the majority of the other ukuleles I've personally owned. And it's something that I didn't realise was a lovely feature about Kavai's builds until I had one of my own. I think that just about wraps it up, folks. I'm going to give this one a play for you now and see what you think. Well, there you have it, folks. We have Coast ukulele number 85 and 86 here. There will be in-depth descriptions of these ukuleles on the website. There are links in the video if you want to look at them in more depth. But yeah, Kavai Coast, a builder that I will always want to support here at Southern Ukulele Store. I'm just grateful to be a part of it. Thank you so much for watching, folks. Have a good day.